All right, BradCooney.com, in association with HCN Networks, is absolutely honored to have him on board from The Voice Season 9. She's part of Team Blake, and her name is Emily Ann Roberts. Emily, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my goodness, thank you for having me.
Well, we're excited to have you on board, and has your life changed a little bit over the past few months? Let's talk about this, first of all, getting to the top 11 on The Voice. Just touch on that a little bit. Share your thoughts on that.
Wow, it is incredible to be here and to be in the top 11. It has been such an incredible, crazy experience to get to where I am right now. And, it's just amazing. Last week, Blake had to save me, and America voted through Zach and Barrett, and then Blake had to save me, and so it was awesome this week to be voted through by America, and now know that hopefully they're behind me a little bit now, and so that's awesome. Moving forward, it just makes me want to put on an even better performance this week, so that they'll still want to vote.
And it just goes to show you that Blake Shelton knows a thing or two about country music.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he really is. I like to. Well, first of all, I like his music a lot, and he's really witty and he's funny, and I love his little feud with Adam. It's great. Talk a little bit more about the experience you've had working with Blake.
So, Blake, is super down to earth and just such a normal guy. And, my first rehearsal that I had with him and Brad Paisley, that was the first time that I had been able to work with him. I was so nervous just because when you think of Blake Shelton, of course you're kind of starstruck. Mm-hmm. I mean, how could you not be? But he's so just down to earth and normal and so goofy that I just am literally laughing 24/7 when I'm with him. So it's just awesome to be around him because I just feel totally comfortable, and he is so supportive of all of the people on his team. It's crazy, and it is so amazing to know that I have him in my corner and that he believes in me. It's an incredible feeling.
I've watched your interactions with him after you sing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the impression there's almost like a daddy-daughter kind of mentoring going on there. He really, really looks up to you and vice versa, I believe. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I think so. I'm just so comfortable around him. I honestly feel like he's like my uncle or something.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by that daddy-daughter, uncle, just kind of like an older relative kind of mentoring you kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so the live playoffs, you sang In the Garden, it's a great song. Talk a little bit about the thinking behind picking that song. How did that song come about?
Well, my faith is very, very important to me, and I've wanted to sing a gospel song ever since I got onto the show, just because I believe that this whole experience was given to me. It was completely laid in my lap by my Heavenly Father. I didn't pursue this. It completely fell into my lap, and the doors have just swung wide open, where I was moving forward and just I think that that's so important to me, and I believe that He blessed me with my talent, and I just want to give it back to Him. And so I've wanted to sing the gospel song, and so it was incredible when I heard that Blake wanted me to sing In the Garden, and I was so excited, and it was awesome to sing that song and see it chart so well. That was the best. That song charted better than any of the other ones I've ever sang on the show. And that song was totally me. It was, just simple and heartfelt. And that's the kind of music that I want to make. And so it was awesome to be able to sing that song, especially as my first song on that huge live stage. It was awesome.
It already has over 500,000 views. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in fact, it's approaching 600,000 views already.
Oh, my goodness.
Not bad, kiddo. Not bad at all. All right, so I want to take you back a little bit to the blind auditions, and then we'll move forward. But you sang I Hope You Dance, which is another, just one of my favorite songs. Talk a little bit about the whole nerves, the nervousness. What happens, like, the night before? Can you kind of paint a picture for us? What's that experience like, doing the blind auditions?
The blinds are so nerve-wracking. It's crazy. You know, it's like unlike anything that I've ever experienced. And they're fun, and it's like a total rush in that moment, but I can, like, promise you I've never slept as good as I slept the night after it was finally over. Just because I was so nervous. Honestly, whenever Adam turned around first for me, and whenever he turned around, I had to like literally turn and walk to the other side of the stage, because I was like, you could hear it if you listen to my blind audition. I was like laughing in my, like, you can tell in my voice, I was like smiling so big, and I was like, if I continue to look at you, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it through this song.
Right.
So I had to, like, turn and walk in the other direction.
And then Blake turned.
Yes, and then Blake turned. And it's such an incredible feeling to be standing up there and to see that chair light up and spin around. Oh, my goodness. It's like you can just finally take a deep breath. It's awesome.
That's great. I've always wanted to ask you this. So once Blake turned, and then, of course, it was really funny how Adam's pitch was really funny, how he was trying to get you to pick him. And then Blake, as witty as he is, was like, well, why do you want, why would you pick him? And then he would have to ask me what to do with you. And, it was just really witty. It was great. But I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you thinking for a second there to go with Adam? Because you looked like you really were fighting with that decision for a second.
I was. I walked into it thinking that I was going to pick Blake. Like, I thought, like, okay, no matter who turns around, I'm going to end up with Blake. And that was my goal. And then Adam turned around, and he fought hard for me. Like,
yeah, he did.
He kind of begged at one point. and so I sat there, and I was like, oh, my goodness, like, I was completely torn in that moment. And then a lot more happened that wasn't shown. And so I stood there for a lot longer than you saw, than they actually showed on TV. But I remember standing there, and then he was like, Blake had, like, said something, and it went back to him, and he said the whole thing about how him and Blake are friends, and if he needs help for a song, that like, he's going to ask for Blake, and Blake will help him.
Yeah.
And that's when Blake used his line that you were talking about. And I was like, that makes it, like, a lot of sense. Like, why should I pick someone who's going to have to go to another coach for help in coaching me? Like that would be kind of dumb.
Exactly.
And so I picked Blake, and I know, like, without a doubt that I made the right decision. He is just absolutely incredible. Yeah,
I agree. I think, and I love the fact that you at least gave, Adam Levine you gave him a look, you thought about it for a minute, but then you went with your gut, and I think it was a great pick because, Blake Shelton's Blake Shelton. He does so much for country music, and I think that's definitely the right thing for you to do. So, if you would, tell the fans something Blake has taught you that you feel most positively impact you so far.
So, whenever I've been, like, back at home playing places and just, like, singing at restaurants or at competitions, I'm always hiding behind my guitar. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, a super huge comfort zone thing for me. Like, standing up on stage with my guitar, because I don't have to walk around or, like, do anything with my arms or hands or anything like that. And I remember before my battle, Blake was like, you have to figure out how to get, like, comfortable and just be sassy and, like, let loose. And I struggled with it, and he really helped me just, like, learn how to come out of my shell more. And, you know, he's shown me, like, looking back before I went on, like, have been on this experience, I would have never thought that I could have done, like, what I did last week.
Right.
That song. And been on a stage that big and been comfortable enough to walk around and engage with the audience. Like, I would have never thought I could have done that. And that is all, like, thanks to him that I can do that, because he's really just boosted my confidence and let me know that it's okay and that I'm not, like, the most awkward human being in the whole world.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes.
That's great. That's great. Put it into your words. Describe what it would mean for you to win this thing, to win The Voice.
Wow. You know, it would be absolutely mind-blowing for me to win this show. You know, coming, like, being 17 years old and being in high school, you know, it's crazy to have even made it this far, to have even, like, turned a chair. It's crazy. Especially, like, back from where I come from, like, my whole community is, like, losing their minds right now.
Yeah, I bet they are.
I was to win. Oh, my goodness. It would be incredible. You know, but I look at, like, where I am right now, like, I feel like a winner. I felt like a winner just by turning a chair. And it would be absolutely incredible to win the show, but, you know, I've accomplished so much more and learned so much that no one can take away from me. Like, the things that I've learned throughout this experience and this journey with this competition, like, I'll have that for the rest of my life. So I feel like a winner regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if it ended today, you'll always have this experience. You'll have the friendships that you made. You'll have the business relationship and the friendship with Blake. That's not going away. You'll always have that going forward.
Yeah. There's really no losing when it comes to this competition.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Exactly. You know, you're talking a little bit before about how nervous you were, and I've interviewed almost everybody on The Voice last season and this season. Everybody, it's a common denominator, is everybody's really petrified the night before and leading up to the blinds. But let me ask you this: what's more nerve-wracking for you? Was it the blind audition, or is it waiting to see how America's going to vote?
Definitely waiting to see how America's going to vote.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the only thing at the end of the day we can control in either scenario is our performance. But I feel like we have, like, how active we are on social media and how well we've informed our fans as to how to, like, support us and vote for us. We have a little bit more control over, like, what we'll get back from it. Whereas in the blind auditions, I don't know, and maybe it's just, like, since we're more, like, further into it, you just want it more. But definitely for me, it's waiting to see how America votes. And the way that they do it on the show with us all standing up there and, like, the scary music and it's all tense, like, oh my goodness.
Hey, let me ask.
It's ridiculous.
Let me ask you this too: is it tough to sing, because they also have you guys singing before these decisions? You know, before they go to the votes, they have you guys perform. Is that any more challenging for you when you're thinking about what could be done in a few minutes, or I'm moving on?
Well, I was very, very lucky. This time, like, Blake's group, like our team, sang a group song on this past episode, and I got saved right before we did that.
Oh, that's right, you did.
I was so thankful.
Yeah.
Because I was able to just go up there and, like, have fun.
Yeah.
Not worry anymore. But I could tell, like, Barrett was giving, like, him and Zach were, like, giving each other pep talks. They were like, like, dude, let's just kill it. Like, because I'm sure it was nerve-wracking. And I can imagine how nerve-wracking it can be because, like, in that moment, your mind is not on anything but, like, worrying what the outcome is going to be.
You know, I've interviewed, like I said before, I've interviewed quite a few y'all singers on The Voice, and what I have a lot of fun with, and America has a lot of fun with all the different backgrounds and the stories that people have that we learn about, like Barrett survived a plane crash. Jordan Smith, just an amazing singer in person he is. Like last year, Sawyer Fredericks, the little long-haired, country boy from upstate New York, he wins the whole thing. Talk a little bit about like that. Talk about the friendships you've made and the experience you've had so far.
Honestly, my favorite part, it's hard to pick a favorite part, but like the relationships that I've built here, just with the other contestants, means so much to me. Last week, during live playoffs, when it completely got cut in half, that was probably one of the hardest nights that I've had in a while, just because I care so much about everyone, and everyone deserved to be here. This season had so many incredibly talented artists. And so, like, watching, like, my friends, like Morgan, was literally my sister. And she still is. Like, it's hard now with her not here every day. Like, we were literally best friends. And so it was so hard when they called my name. I literally was sobbing. I like turned and hugged Morgan and was like ugly crying.
Aww.
I was so upset.
Yeah, because you had to battle her, didn't you? You guys. Yeah.
And that's when we became so close.
Oh wow.
And then she got back on Team Blake, and we were like, oh my gosh! And then it's so hard saying goodbye because we are around these people 24/7. So we literally become a family.
Wow.
Because we're like sectioned off from everything else, and it's just us and music and these people, and we all have the same interests and desires, and it's just like, how can we not become a family? How can we not all become best friends?
Yeah.
So that's been one of my favorite parts of this whole journey, is just getting to meet these incredible people and knowing that like I've made lifelong friendships, and that like no matter what happens, I'll always have these people.
Yep.
So it's awesome. And this season is so like supportive. We just all love each other so much. I'm so thankful that I'm on this season.
That's great. Yeah, I've noticed that too. I've noticed a lot of support from each singer for one another, and like you said, that's great. Okay, so I put out there on social media that I was going to interview tonight, and I got some questions from the fans. You have enough time to answer a couple questions from your fans?
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, so her name is Meg McDaniel. Meg McDaniel wants to know, who is your favorite past Voice contestant out of all you have watched?
Wow. Honestly, my favorite would have to be Raylynn.
Oh, yeah.
I love her and her sweet, like spunky personality.
Yeah.
And I got to see her in concert with Miranda last year. And they came to Knoxville, and it was absolutely phenomenal. She just has, like, such a stage presence and personality, and she's just so incredible to watch.
Yeah, she's great. All right, Carissa Lynn, she wants to know, this is a pretty cool question, actually. How hard is the desire to win versus having to say goodbye to friends in order for you to get that win?
Wow. Like I said, I was heartbroken after the last elimination. It was just so hard to say goodbye to everybody. But what keeps me focused is just I know that I'm still here for a reason, and that like God is totally in control. And I just try to stay focused on like, since I'm still here, I just have to just stay focused on the fact that I am still here and keep moving forward until my time here is over, or until, like, something crazy like a wedding happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you know, we all have to face it that when we sign up to do this competition, at one point, like, we're signing up to either win or get sent home. So it's just something you have to like, come to, like, terms with yourself, just to know that, like, there is a huge possibility of you getting eliminated compared to the possibility of you winning.
Right. Yep, exactly. Well said. Okay, we'll take one more. Becky Roberts, who's actually a friend of mine, and she's a big fan of yours. And Becky wants to know, well, I'll paraphrase. She said, I want to know who influenced you to be so faithful. She is unapologetic about it, and that is so admirable for her age.
You know, I've grown up, you know, going to church, and I've had two incredible parents who have, like, seriously shown me how to live and just, like, who to put my hope and trust in. Because, I mean, especially during a time like this of such uncertainty, it's just so important to me just to keep my heart in the right place. And that's definitely been, like, influenced to me by my parents. They have been such incredible, like, leaders of, like, my mom, like, what a woman who is, like, grounded in the Word and grounded in Christ, like, is supposed to look like. And you know, that's just been incredible. And, you know, I think I'm just really blessed growing up in such an incredible, faithful family. And, you know, it's all I've ever known, and I'm so thankful for that. Because it really is it's what gets me through. So.
Well said. Very well said. Okay, last question I got for you. Well, it's not really a question. If somebody's thinking about doing this, somebody's thinking about signing up and competing and trying to try out for The Voice, what's some advice you can give somebody who's thinking about doing this?
You know, I have met so many people who have auditioned, like, year after year, and who, like, Evan has auditioned, I think, for 3 seasons, and now he's in the top 11.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think, honestly, this is such an incredible experience, and though it is super, super difficult to get actually on the show, never give up, and, like, keep trying and keep pursuing this, because this has been such a blessing to me, and I know to every other person who's stepped foot on this show, like, this is just such a supportive show and a supportive environment. They don't ever try to make you look bad. They're always, like, totally 100% behind you and supporting you. And, you know, when you get on the show, if you audition and, like, happen to make it through, like, just stay focused and stay determined, because, you know, it's just such an incredible experience, and it's hard to, like, to lose sight of it when you're here and you're homesick, or you're worried about what people are saying, or, like, hate comments or stuff like that. Just stay focused on, like, the gifts that you've been given, and just stay determined, and just really focus on you and you know, like, the gift that God's given you. I just think that there's so many things that try to, like, bring you down. With this incredible platform, it's amazing, all the love and support that you are given, but it's also really surprising how much hate you can get, too, from people, negative comments. So I think a word of advice would just to, like, ignore those things and just press forward, because you're here for a reason, and, you know, it's just, like, such an incredible experience. And I think that, like, if you have the passion for singing, this is something that a bunch of people should consider, because it's just been such a blessing. Yeah,
it really is a great show. It's a really great show. It's so positive. And like you said, there's so much negativity out in the world now. It's a breath of fresh air, The Voice. I love every season. I love every season. Okay, so I'm going to let you go, but before I do, maybe you can share some closing thoughts for all your fans that are going to be voting for you. And if you would, just kind of tell us your social networks where they can follow you at.
Okay, I want to thank y'all for supporting me and standing behind me and voting for me. It means so much. And if y'all want to follow me on stuff, you can follow me on Facebook. It's Emily Ann Roberts Music. You can like my page and follow me on there. And then my Twitter and Instagram is Emily Ann _music. It's the same handle for both